is a feature Friday in Kansas City. Who is scarier on a Halloween than Tony Botello? He scares all the local Kansas City media folks with how he's going to put them on blast. He's joining us in studio. What's up, my man?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. You know that's true, and I know that's true. Nobody wants to get in your crosshairs in this town, right?
It's always weird because I meet people face to face, and my dad always complains that, like, on radio, I'm too soft spoken. so it's like Halloween. It's a lot of it's an act.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, you come. Listen, if you want to come on radio and start really putting people on blast, we'll do this more frequently. All right, whatever you want to do, man. We are glad that you are here and joining us on the show. Listen, I know that your bread and butter is Kansas City and on the Missouri side, but I appreciate you writing about our interview with Overland Park Mayor Kurt Skoog and his inability to answer a simple question as to whether or not he wants the Royals to come to Overland Park, which I think should be a fairly simple question for the current mayor, who's also running for re-election, to answer ahead of next Tuesday, and he couldn't do it. Why do you think that is?
Probably the most likely answer. The truth is because he's negotiating, and they're all just, oh God, how do I? That's why I'm so soft-spoken, because I don't want to get to make a really bad graphic analogy, but they are all, they're all on bended knee.
Yes,
for the
that's
Royals.
Fine. That's fine.
Yeah, and so maybe both knees bend, but they're and so he's in the midst of a deal, and he obviously doesn't want to give it away. And what's frustrating for me as a Kansas City resident, and that's why your interview was great, because you really put him on the spot, and it was fantastic. But I mean, the Royals seem to be planning to win this thing by fatigue. And they are just rope doping the whole Kansas City metro, and just how worn down can we? How can we just Joe Frazier, just a mountain, just the best boxer, best skill, and you give that guy 15 rounds, and he's just gasping for air, and then they start punching, and that's what I see happening here. Yeah, it was great to hear his kind of fatigue set in, to hear him be flummoxed and flustered. So I guess that's my takeaway from this. And they're doing the same thing in NKC. I'm sure you can get Jason Worthington to sweat for you as well, because nobody has an answer, because they are all on bended knee trying to kiss the ring and get something their way.
But they could just kiss the ring and say, yeah, we want him here, and we think it will be good for Overland Park for the Royals to consider coming here. I don't think that's a hard thing to say if that's what you believe. And to me, that suggests that the mayor knows it may not be popular to have the Royals in Overland Park, which is why he won't answer the question 8 days out from an election.
Well, when you really drill down, and that's why you're great to call these people out on, when you really, and what I thought was great was when you really drill down on a location. When you start talking Turkey and okay, let's talk about the intersection. No. We have to keep things wide open. So when you drill down to the absolute details, NKC has its problems too. It's winning over fans, and it's getting some of the fanboys. I noticed this week some of the fanboy blogs are like, yeah, NKC wouldn't be so bad. But when you start saying, okay, where? Yeah. Where? Next to the like they couldn't, keep a Denny's. That's what one of my great commenters said, that, they couldn't keep a Denny's open. Where exactly do you think they're going to put it? And when you start drilling down to the details, that's when they get iffy. They start to stutter, and they start to think that Pete Mundo's a big bad wolf.
Couldn't keep the Denny's open where?
In KC. It was there for like 30 years.
Wait, in KC or North KC?
North KC.
Oh, I didn't realize they had a Denny's up there for 30 years.
Well, they don't anymore.
Well, when you got Chapels and so many other great local places, why go to a Denny's? I'm just saying. Just going to throw that out there. But, they got that. We know where they're going in North KC. It's the old bowling alley, that big location. They could build whatever they want around it. So I think North Kansas City's in the lead. And I think something else happened this week on this front. Laura Kelly said she's not going to get into a bidding war with Missouri. Laura Kelly started the bidding war.
Right.
And now she's backtracking off of that. That would suggest to me that she thinks that Kansas is behind the 8 ball with these two teams, and she's signaling, hey, if they don't come here, it's because Missouri basically bent over too much for the teams, and we're not going to do that. No. She started the whole thing with the Republicans, with the Star Bond legislation. They brought it to a bidding war. So she's trying to rewrite history on that, and I have no respect for that angle from the Kansas governor. And once again, it was a bipartisan deal in Kansas, but that's totally rewriting history, is it not?
Yeah, I think so. And I guess the only thing that I have to add that maybe your listeners might not think is, let's not count out Phil Lavoda. He managed to get Republican support for his unlikely bid in a field of clowns. So much so that the one serious person, Deron McGee, was like, "No, I'm not having anything to do with this."
Well, Deron McGee wants to be the future Jackson County chairman, and they agreed that whoever's going to be the interim can't run next year. So I think that's what McGee came to the conclusion of, right?
Yeah, and I know that officially we're supposed to say that. I don't believe that. There's nothing written in stone. I mean,
you think Lavota's going to run?
He's a lawyer. He can get out of any contract. That's why you hire Phil Lavota. And he
said on the show, he's like, I'm not doing it. I mean, listen, you're right. He might still do it, but I mean, he'll be a total fraud then.
That Gen X pessimism is just coming in for me. I hear George Bush promising no new taxes in the back of my head. All the old references. Clinton coming up with a new term. I didn't have relations with that woman because that's supposed to mean stuff. So all the echoes of the past are just ringing through my head. I'm just saying, in the stadium deal, Phil Lavota is a very, very smart person, and he has pulled many a rabbit out of his hat in his time.
So you like Lavota when it comes to keeping the Chiefs at Arrowhead, and you think he'll play a big role in that?
Yes, for sure, for absolute certain. He's pretty much all. I mean, I try not to believe too much hype. I still have my skepticism, but I think you can't underestimate the new dynamic that Phil Lavota brings to all these discussions.
Okay. Just because he's a lawyer, or is there something else you think he brings to the table?
Well, I mean, you're talking about a person with 30-some-odd years of Kansas City political connections. My favorite phrase, he's one of those people with a Rolodex as big as God's. And he can bring a lot of people to the table. He knows everybody. He has a lot of skills. And he is a very persuasive man.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you think that means? I know most of the action next Tuesday in the local elections on the Kansas side. But in Jackson County, they will vote on whether or not Jackson County decides to go ahead with an elected assessor. So instead of the assessor being appointed by the county executive, which is what Gail McCann-Beatty has been for the last several years, she was appointed by Frank White, the assessor will be an elected position. How do you think that plays in Jackson County?
I think I'm not sure there's been any official polling numbers, except for the old Frank White numbers were just everybody. And I think this is where some of Lavota's skill comes in. Everybody who I talked to on the recall, and I talked to a lot of them, they wanted the pitchforks and the knives to come out and just a full house cleaning. And they were upset that Gail wasn't gone the next day. Mm-hmm. And that assessment department wasn't completely cleaned out. And I think where I've seen Exec Lavota's skill come in just right away is that he managed to calm people down. Say, okay, let's wait for the vote. Let's see how this plays out. I'm not going to pull the trigger immediately. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about people who pulled off something historic, getting them who wanted to raid the castle and wanted to J6 it. Just holding their horses and trying to see how this thing plays out.
Did you just use J6 as a verb there in that explanation with the Jackson County Assessor's Office?
It's meant as a compliment.
Boy, you on Lavota's payroll, man? I don't have an opinion either way yet. I want to see what he does, but you're really high on the guy.
No, I'm just impressed because I was calling everybody clowns. I was saying they're all just full of it. And
I guess, yeah, he'll look good next to, freaking Justice Horny or something like that. But, that ain't hard to do, man.
Well, I just think there was some modicum of bipartisan support. Our homie, Sean Smith, was like, all right.
Yeah. Well, think about it. He's dealing with Manny Abarca. Anyone looks good. You walk in the door next to Manny Abarca, you're going to look halfway decent. Jeez.
This is true. It's
a clown car.
I'm not good enough to be on the Lavota payroll. I just think that we're going to see some curveballs thrown our way.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm on board with that, and I'm optimistic too. But you're really optimistic. I like that. Tony Botello, Tony's Kansas City, is here on a Friday morning. Our feature Friday guest. We'll take a quick break. Come back with more of the top stories impacting Kansas City. World Cup drama, funding drama, and more with him next.
From Lenexa to Lee's Summit, you're listening to Mundo in the Morning on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
We got Tony Botello. He is, of course, the founder, creator of Tony'sKansasCity.com, joining us in studio as our feature Friday guest. Well, Tony, let's go to the World Cup here and talk about the fact that the KCATA says it needs $8 to $10 million to run the buses for the World Cup next summer. The mayor came on the show yesterday and said, I know nothing about that. I don't know where these money requests are coming from. It's ridiculous. It's playing out in media. How do you see this thing shaping out?
Nightmare scenario is, probably what's going to happen. Giving everybody from the benefit of the doubt, we're going to get like Ghana and Estonia, and it's not. We'll be able to handle it. But should the worst happen, should the absolute worst happen, and we got Ireland and Mexico, we're cooked. That's it. Yeah, Ireland, Mexico. Oh, yeah, we got Ireland, Mexico, and Great Britain. Nah, forget that. Hang it up. Like, just buy some supplies and just plan on not going out for a week. And so, yeah, I know because FIFA and everything about the World Cup is rigged, so we might dodge a bullet intentionally because they're not going to send Great Britain to Kansas City. They're not going to send Ireland. Mexico is not going to come. Even though Mexico, you're talking about everybody driving up with a camper, and it will be a nightmare. But about the $8 to $11 million funding not identified. The week before that, one of my very, very, very great, very wonderful tipsters was like, "Hey, guess what? No international flights to Kansas City."
What do you mean, next summer during the World Cup?
Yeah.
Nothing direct international?
Nothing direct. Nothing right from Europe. They're going through St. Louis. They're not coming. It's not a direct flight, which is a big deal. When you talk about logistics a year out, you want to have those flights confirmed.
Well, is it possible, just to play devil's advocate, that when the groupings get announced, some airline will do direct because they'll make a lot of money doing that?
I would imagine so. Maybe it's not that complicated decision, but so we have this hideous lounge on the plaza that's opened. To me, I see the drawings, I see, they're having such a great time. I'll never go there, but some pre-logistics, where's this $8 to $11 million going to come from, or where the flight's going to come from? That's something that normal people see, that are people who, better than me, who have businesses and they're in charge of just buying Doritos for the whole game. Okay, this is a serious thing. The drawings of a hangout that is like a eighth circle of hell doesn't really prepare people for what might happen.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I want it to be a great win for Kansas City. I'm just not sold on it when the KCATA is already trying to shake down the taxpayer for another $10 million. And the notion that all these people are going to come into Kansas City, wealthy people, let's be honest, from other countries, and then go hop on a KCATA bus?
Right.
To explore the metro?
That's about all we got for them. Do you think there's a prop bet?
Well, no, there's a thing called Uber.
Right.
They're going to Uber driver's going to make a fortune next summer.
Yeah, I could see that. Do you think there's a prop bet to where the streetcar breaks down? It's broken down 2 summers in a row. I'm willing to take... Am I spoiling the action by talking about it?
Listen, the streetcar... Did you see... I talked about it earlier this week. I think it was Woke 41 sent out a reporter to ride the new streetcar extension on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And they literally had to walk the line because it was shut down because a car hit a pedestrian or something along the streetcar line. So the streetcar extension, which had been open a day at that point, couldn't operate.
Now, was that the same car that crashed into the flower shop across from Starbucks? Because that was opening day.
Yeah, this was Saturday, so that must have been Friday.
Right. Okay.
Wow. But to your point, what a joke. Did you ride the streetcar extension yet? Was that on the blog? I didn't see it.
No. I haven't yet because I'm waiting until a week sets in and everybody forgets about it like they did the first line.
I don't think it took a week, man. I think it took a weekend, if that.
Well, it's just like the first line. It was so great. It was the second coming. And there's a restaurant right on the corner of Main and I think 11th Street. Premium property, great stop, right in the middle of downtown. It's been vacant for the past 2 years. They just put somebody in it. Like a lot of these places, I guess that's my big takeaway, is okay, so the laundromat on Main is going to be bustling. And the Starbucks I hang out at, but there's a great Jamaican sub shop.
Yeah.
Are you telling me the Jamaican sub shop is just going to kick in that payback that $350 million through all the goat sandwiches?
Yeah. Well, I used to live at 6th and Broadway, and I've told the story before, but coming out to the Big 12 tournament one year, I went to the streetcar stop, wasn't there, a lot of people. I start walking. As I get to the stop on, I guess it's 7th and Main, 8th and Main, the streetcar pulls up right as I'm walking to that bus stop or to that train stop. And I'm like, I literally walked it in the same time that I could have ridden the streetcar, and who knows if I even would have gotten on the streetcar because there were so many people waiting for the streetcar. So I was literally better off walking. That's not mass transit when you're better off walking.
Right. So you think Uber and Lyft are going to clean up?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got people paying thousands of dollars to make this their big summer trip. Wealthy people from Europe or South America. You think they're hopping on a KCATA bus?
That's a very good point. There's a guy that goes up and down my neighborhood at night in a neon bike. What do you call it? What's the politically incorrect term? To where they carry the... No, I'm not going to use that. But to where they pull the little thing, like the cart. It's like a fancy cab. There's a hipster instead of a horse.
Oh, I don't know what they call those.
So anyways, so he has a little neon thing. I always think about the lowest end. So yeah, Uber and Lyft, but you have to have a car. Just hipsters and bikes might profit as well.
They might.
It's like a bike taxi cab.
A bike taxi cab. Okay. That's what the guys are telling me. I see what you're saying. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't hop on one of those. I'd hop in an Uber. I mean, Tony, you're spending thousands of dollars on flights and hotels. You really think they're going on a bike with a hipster?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of fun.
Or in a bus? Yeah, they're not here for that. Come on. They're not here for that. They're getting in Ubers. We all know the game.
Yeah.
And the city and the KCATA have to come to that very obvious conclusion quickly that outside of special events, like if they say, hey, you want to go out to Arrowhead for the game, you got to park in this location, then they'll bus you in from there. That's going to a game. But you're talking about exploring the metro, no one's getting on a bus. No one.
I'm just thinking about that turnoff. I mean, even all my experience with Arrowhead is the Chiefs games, and so, again, a vacant Denny's comes into play because across the highway.
Well, the text line is killing you, by the way, because that Denny's that you're talking about was the one on Broadway, right? That shut down in downtown. It wasn't the one in North Kansas City.
No, I thought it was Armour. No. They're thinking. Okay. They're not. I know my stuff about Denny's.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I didn't want to insult the Denny's expert here. Okay, so you're sure because the text line is saying you're talking about a different Denny's.
No, it was on Armour. They have it right. It's not the exact same size. It's not the bowling alley side. I'm just saying North Kansas City in general is not Denny's friendly. Damn it.
They've gotten rid of plenty of Denny's up there.
Yeah, that's right. All right, I've got about less than a minute here, so give me something good to wrap up a Friday, Halloween.
Okay, this is something upbeat. Again, you look at social media, there's all this scary stuff. So, like, your kids are scared of, chaperone incarnate zombies. Adults are scared of the impending SNAP food riots that we're all seeing on social media. And we're like, oh, this is going to be horrible. They're going to be looting the stores. Democrats are like, see, we told you. He's going to starve us all. Okay, and Republicans are like, well, I'm glad I have bullets. The reality is that Kansas City is full of very, very, very nice people. There is no food crisis. People are not going to go hungry, and this town is filled with tons of people who are just ready, we're just putting on their gloves and doing tons of volunteer work, tons of places where people, if they need food, if their SNAP does get cut off, there is no shortage. Like right now, there's no shortage of people all through the metro willing to help and pitch in.
Tony Botello, Tony's Kansas City, in studio. Good job, my man. You go off to a Denny's after this?
Maybe. I don't know. We've been talking about it.
All right. The Grand Slam sounds pretty good. See you, brother.
Thanks, Pete.